Hey, Shabbat Shalom. You caught me very busy this week. I'm working on something very exciting. I'm building a home. But if you notice, there are three components to the home that I am building. Well, obviously, I have the actual house itself. I have the structure. I have the walls. I have the roof. Then, of course, I have the furnishings. I have the bed and the counters and the chairs and the table. And then, of course, I have the people who are helping me build this home and transport the items. Now, what in the world is Rabbi Zalman doing playing with these toys? Well, first of all, I'm spending a lot of time with my kids these days in COVID-19, but there's another very powerful reason. You see, this week's Torah portion tells us about the fascinating journey of the Jewish people in the desert and how they would transport all the different components of the tabernacle. The Torah tells us that there were different families that had different responsibilities. Some of the Levites, known as Gershon, they were responsible for carrying all the different parts of the actual structure, such as the wall and the ceiling and the different parts that actually created the structure. Other components of the Levi family, like the family Kahat, they were in charge of carrying the vessels of the tabernacle, including the Holy Ark. There's a very powerful message here. You see, in our lives, we are also building a home. Our sages teach us that there are two elements to every home. There is the structure and there is the furnishings. What is the difference between the two? The structure represents those things that protect us from all the negativity and all the bad. The structure represents the aspect of our lives where we are abstaining from negativity, where we cease to engage in activities that are destructive and negative for our own lives. That is what building the structure of our home is all about. Building those walls and those roofs that protect us from the elements. But then, just as important, there's another component of building our home, and that is filling it with beautiful vessels. And that represents engaging in good. It's not enough to disengage and separate ourselves from the bad, but we also have to infuse our lives with positivity and holiness. And that's represented by the vessels. And here is the message I want to share with you today. Interestingly, when the Torah tells us about the various orders of carrying the tabernacle in the desert, the Torah begins and places greater emphasis on carrying the vessels rather than carrying the structure. And here is the lesson. It is so important to ensure that we disengage from negativity. It's so important to be on top of ourselves every day that we don't engage in negative habits and negative activities. But we can't get stuck with battling with the bad. We can't get stuck with struggling with the evil. It's more important to put greater emphasis on filling our days with light and filling our lives with meaning. And that's why the Torah finds it so important to put the greatest emphasis on the family that would carry the vessels, because the vessels represents bringing in life and light and positivity and holiness into our daily life. So, my friends, don't get stuck too much on the negative habits you're trying to overcome. It's true the structure is important, but instead of dealing with the darkness, put all your heart and soul into just bringing and infusing your day with light. If you wake up in the morning and you're not in a good mood, don't start struggling and haggling with those negative feelings. Instead, shine a little light, and all the darkness will just go away. So Shabbat Shalom, and I got to get back to building my house.